The college football experience, week 7 pregame show. The Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog's hooking up new customers. Play just $5, get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with our promo code TCE SGPN. And remember, as always, folks, too, let it ride.
Hey, this is Pac-Man Jones. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Yes, yes, yes. Woo! Welcome to the college football experience, week 7 pregame show. Excited for today's action as always. I mean, this day is pretty fire, especially on paper compared to a week ago, even though last week ended up being pretty good. YouTube.com/the college experience. Right now you're sitting there, you're doing nothing. I mean, you hopefully are placing wagers, but besides that, if you could take a second to hit like and subscribe, or if you could just grab the iPhone, grab whatever the fuck phone you have, your wife's phone, and jump on over to iTunes or Spotify and subscribe. Even if you prefer the YouTube version, it helps us, and why not help people? All right, it makes yourself feel better. You can say, hey, I did those guys a solid. You'll start feeling better about yourself. You'll walk around town. You'll be more attractive. And all of a sudden, next thing you know, you want to take some girl to Plowtown. She might be just a little bit interested in you because you got an aura, a confidence about you. So if you can, subscribe. Hit that like and subscribe button. This is how life works, folks. If you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, my name is Colby Swiggin, Database Dan, a.k.a. Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
And you're nothing but a chameleon, lemon-headed, coward, terrorist pussy. And I'm after you, buddy. You're gonna pay for it. Good night.
Oh, yeah. Today what was good, man. You go walk the dog and it feels crisp. It feels really crisp. Had a hard time not just fucking tackling some random schmuck. Let's go. Shout out to the chat. Hit a 3-teamer. Virgil did. Troy Tuning, join in, brother. Join the fuck in. Shout out to Nurse Jockey. Colby, you're not only providing quality info in these games, but you're making it entertaining as well. Thanks for the content. Makes my week listening to you, Mac and CJ. I appreciate that. Well, I mean, let's be honest. And I appreciate you hopping in there and letting us know that. But this is supposed to be fun. You know what I mean? I think sometimes we forget that this is supposed to be fun. The sport is supposed to be fun. All right. But thank you for the kind comment there. And we have a bunch of games kicking off. The reason why I was like a minute or two late is because I had to bet on Mercyhurst. Right now at noon, Mercyhurst is kicking off against Wagner. The spread is 4. I think Mercyhurst is going to fucking destroy them. It's on the NEC Front Row app. It is free to download. So I had to find where I could find that action, which it's out there. It's actually a little more easier than I thought. DK, FanDuel, all that got the Mercyhurst game. Let's go. Look, you might see Mercyhurst at 0-4 on the road, but their road games, Youngstown State, Sacramento State, Montana State, and South Dakota State. I don't know that you can have a harder 4 road games than FCS college football. So I think there's gold in them there hills, if you know what I mean. Shout out to Nick, who's watching from work. Let's go. An Oklahoma drill out of all of SGPN. It's probably someone younger. But if it's between TCE and SGP, that's a good one. That's a good one. I would say Mac has Mac's a lot younger than us. So there's that. I would like to say me, but I also realize that I'm in my mid 40s. So Mac is like what, 31, 32, I think, something like that. He's got a little bit of leg up athletically. CJ's a little bit older than me. Sean and Ryan, I think we're the same. We're all the Kramer's older than me. So, I think 31, the 31-year-old would win. Yeah, Danny dumb shit. Jump on in on that DK 4.5. I don't think you're gonna be sweating that. I think they're gonna fuck him up. So, yeah. But anyway, look, get in on that line. At noon, there's a bunch of great games kicking. Alabama, Missouri is going on in what, 53 minutes. That's one I'm super excited about watching. I'm kind of, so I have a bet on Missouri money line. I took the 3.5 to cover my ass. But I also have Alabama to win the national championship, so I'm all over the place here on that. I picked Alabama to win the national championship preseason, and I just think they don't look as good. I understand they had 2 straight wins, but I just have I don't know that you can go win a national championship with that run defense. I don't think you can, actually. I'd actually be curious, when's the last time a team with that bad of a run defense won a national championship? Should probably do a deep dive on that if my ADD doesn't take over. But that's one that I'm all over just because it's big for my win. I also have Alabama over on the wins, so it's a huge game. I'm all over the place on that one. Another one I have at noon is UCLA Michigan State. I did lay the 7.5 with Michigan State. Lock that thing up. Not the sexiest of games, but yeah. Not the sexiest of games, but if you want my best, I did put in several parlays this morning. And these involve noon kicks. So look, at noon I have a lot of bets. Sometimes it's just the way it works out schedule wise. I have Akron with the points against Miami, Ohio, and actually I think I got the worst of the number because I think it's gone up. I understand Miami, Ohio has played for the MAC championship the past 2 years. But 12.5 points. I will take Akron to stay within that. In the MAC, it's just a lot of points. Shout out to Dre Youngin, CFB. I know you've been listening for a while. Appreciate you doing that. I think Action Sports app is stealing all my picks on it. You're not the first person to tell me that, by the way. Maybe they are these filthy corporate pricks. All right. I've actually got DM'd that a few times that it's too consistent. And since I don't ever check out anybody else's picks, with the exception of CJ and Mac and maybe my brother, or Patty C or something, but might be onto something. But yeah, so I have a wager on Akron. I have a wager on Missouri. I have a wager on Michigan State. I have a parlay. And it's not too late for you to get in on this parlay. I have a parlay on Toledo minus 10 points. I think you can get 10, a flat 10 on DK. I think it's 10.5 at some other spots. But since I just placed this wager about 15 minutes ago, I parlayed Toledo minus the 10 with the Clits of Charlotte plus 18. Army is starting their third quarterback this season. I know it's the triple option, so it's not as monumental as some, but I would say I am a bit concerned about their passing attack. And that means I think part of the reason, first off, it's hard for Army to blow out teams because Army run, their drives, each one of their drives is like 15 minutes long. So There's that. I know Charlotte's got their starting quarterback dinged up, but I feel like they've gotten more competitive, or at least they're fighting hard for Tim Albin. But Tim Albin, part of my logic on my cap was Tim Albin was a part of the Nebraska teams back when they ran the option attack. And I think that gives you a little bit of a coaching advantage. Now, I'm sure it's vastly different than the Monken triple option to a certain extent, but I still think you can prep for that. And another reason I like is because they've had extra time off. So I remember they played the weekday game against South Florida. So I just think that number's too big. So I will take the Charlotte Clits to stay within 18 points. I think Army will win. This is the first time they've ever played, by the way. So they're just not very familiar with either of their sides here. And look, Terrell Furman Jr. is not with us today. He is at homecoming for North Carolina A&T, and we would never want to deprive the great Terrell Furman Jr. or anybody who wants to be a part of their college football experience and college experience. And they are hosting South Carolina State, and he also did text me North Carolina State take the money line. Which, if you listen to our FCS show, I had a battle with Mac on that game. I took South Carolina State, but I did not realize it was homecoming until after the fact. Makes it tricky. But FYI, Terrell says take the money line with North Carolina A&T there in Greensboro. So we are joined by, you have heard him in the years past, perhaps on the Big 12 Experience, one of the hosts of the Big 12 Experience. You've heard him on our reaction show. Give it up for the great Troy Tuning. What's up, buddy?
What's going on, Dundee? We're already multiple hours into my Saturday morning, as you guys know, typically starting early at the golf course, but it is sit by the TV and get drunk time now.
Oh yeah. I was about to say, I was like, oh, there we go.
We switched up just like Mac as soon as they got rid of Gundy.
Let's go right there. Yeah, if you are not aware, Troy Tuning here, a fan of Oklahoma State, and Baylor. I think the average fan would say, "What the fuck?" Explain the fandom for those three.
Well, it was Dad played at Oklahoma State and Grandpa played at Oklahoma, so those two make sense. And then Mom just went to Baylor, so always kind of watched all those teams, and it wasn't really much of an issue until Baylor started spending money in football. And who would have known that spending money in football revived in their entire sports program?
Yeah.
Keeping Scott Drew and money. But, it is weird to be a fan of all three, but it's hard to lose, I guess.
Remember that Baylor basketball coach, Dave Bliss, that covered up a murder and tried to throw it off on one of his players that had nothing to do with it? That's what made me a Baylor fan.
The good stuff. I mean, the parking lot paint huffer is going to be in for a nice cover up. What murder? Where's CJ? Yeah. Where's Nick Sled Sullivan when we need him? What murder? He literally did that.
Unbelievable story, folks. If you are not, and now here's the best part about it. This scumbag coach is now coaching. Well, I don't know if he still is, but last time I checked, a couple years ago, he's coaching at like a Christian high school. He's the head basketball coach at a Christian high school. This guy is just.
That's what it's all about, baby. Forgiveness.
Gotta love it.
He's a born again Christian now.
Gotta love it.
You know who's not going to be born again? You can answer that question.
What murder? All right, dude, since you're wearing the Oklahoma shirt, let's talk about it, because how stupid are they for potentially starting John Mateer? I still am reluctant to believe that John Mateer is starting this game. Where are you at with believing that he's starting this game, and then a breakdown of why you think your Sooners are going to win? Because I'm not even going to entertain the thought of the other side of that coin. But what? Look, I'm all over Oklahoma, but I just don't understand why you would rush back someone in this new day and age of the 12-team playoff. And I know you battled me on this a week ago, and I'll say this is one of the few points I think you guys have is a game like this isn't as huge because if you're Oklahoma, you say, well, we might be we might be able to win with our backup because that's how bad Texas looks. But B, we can lose this game and still get in. But where are you at with all that?
Well, I'm a little biased because I had a middle of the summer Heisman future on John Mateer. So if he wants to come back and play and can, go ahead, buddy. That's fine with me. I think you made this point on the pick show. Venables just wants to beat Texas. So that could be the reason why they are, even if it is, rushing. If they're actually trying to get him to play, it could just be Venables is desperate and wants to beat Texas and maybe wants to stay there and coach at Oklahoma. I would still think, I have no actual surgical knowledge of what occurred within this, whatever they did to his broken bone in his hand. But I would think that, a little bit more than 2 weeks is not enough time.
Yeah. I mean,
and this is the point. You can lose this game. You can be competitive in this game and lose it, and you're not eliminated from anything. I mean, the process girl still thinks this is like the number 12 team in the country or something in her brain. So it would just be a quality
as far
loss.
As what my votes are and what my process is, I wake up early in the morning after covering a game late in the night before. Don't want to go too much into my progress or process or logic, but I will say
don't want to go too much into my whoa. Add media source. Anyway, continue. I didn't mean to rudely cut you off with the process girl that still has Texas ranked at number 12.
No, that could be a part of my progress process too. Wake up early in the morning and hit the gravity bong, and then I just pick a list of teams and submit it to the Associated Press, and that's the 25 for that week because it'll sort itself out anyway. It doesn't even matter. Yeah, they're definitely not selling recruiting trips based on, the AP has a team at 10 and the coaches have them at like 18 or something like that. They're definitely not selling the trip on we're number 10. That doesn't matter at all to some of these kids. It's crazy that they think that it doesn't matter. But continuing with the Oklahoma thing.
Well, here's the thing too, is like, even if you started Hawkins or even the third string,
but he played last year.
I think Oklahoma's defense is going to keep Texas from scoring a lot of points regardless. So it can't be you're fearful of a blowout and that will look bad to the playoff committee or blah, 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 blah.
I would think that the fact that Hawkins played this game last year would make it a little more comfortable if you had to start him. And that's why I think, the chat is kind of on this. Mac always gives the chat shit and hates on the chat. And then I come in and the chat's blowing up because they love me. I think the chat's right. I think this is just messing with Sarkisian, and Sober Sark gets in his own brain. And this is just another hurdle
overrated coach in college
for Sober Sark here. He's one drink away from being good.
Greatest play caller that has ever been on the gridiron. All right. Just what he does. He can call screen at the best times of the game, even though his red zone offense has been terrible for about a decade. But best play caller I've ever seen. And, that's another reason for Texas to keep him. So do you have a wager in this game?
I mean, I'm going to bet Oklahoma. They're still getting what, 1.5?
Yeah, and I know. Shout out to Clark in the chat. Is talking about the under. Doesn't the under seem like the most?
I was going to mention.
Play?
Yeah, I was going to mention. I would think the game script you brought up for Oklahoma, Texas is going to be kind of similar. It's hard to trust the dude that's spiking 8-yard passes in the feet of receivers, and their defense is pretty strong too, especially if they get to see Hawkins. And both teams kind of know it's physical up front. I think that the defenses are pretty good. I mean, I will say, I know he's hurt, but the dude's a gamer. If John Mateer plays, there's a chance he still throws for like 285 yards and balls out just because he's John Mateer. But the chances of it are so small.
Well, the under would have hit last year on this number. It was 34-3. So, yeah, I still think Clark, even though it's low hanging fruit, it seems like I still think it's. I think I would still back it at that. And that Sark's the greatest offensive mind. Yeah. I just think am I crazy to think that that's the most ridiculous stat? There's no way to measure it. There's no way to
Yeah.
measure like he's the greatest play caller in the sport. Well,
Wouldn't it also be narrowed down to like the most asinine, like 10 play calls of the year in the biggest situations, anyways? Like you would throw out garbage time, you would throw out scripted drives, you would throw out blowouts, you'd throw out all these drives that ended because like the half and you didn't try to kick a field goal or something. It would just be like 10 or 12 play calls all year long, which again, you're playing craps. Like some guys are going to look like good play callers and then maybe not the next year. That's what happens. And it feels like Sark got overreacted to. Had a couple of good rolls and then
he's also been at Washington, USC, and Texas, and at Alabama. I mean, it's easy to call plays at those places.
way to die.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to say he's terrible at it, but I'm just saying, like, when you have the more superior athlete at all those stops,
The play calls do look better.
Yeah, it's just a ridiculous. I hear it every week when I turn on either a TV, the TV or the podcast, or like listen to a podcast, and I'm like, oh my god,
He's the GOAT.
who the fuck is pushing this narrative? Is his agent calling all these places? You know, he's the best play caller in the sport. It's just a ridiculous nugget. It's just a ridiculous thing to say.
It also became one of those things that just got repeated like enough that for some reason it caught on.
Yeah. I just feel like there's a lot of great coaches that aren't at great that don't have the talent that he's had in his career that can call up good plays. And how do you justify that play that Sark called is better than that play? It's just it's just talking. It's just bullshit. It's like the database top 25. When I go through, I make my points, but and then I ask Mac a series of questions that are all utter just blah, 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 just bullshit to make you think about stuff. But God bless him and his agent that continues to pump that. I'll take the under, and I'll take Oklahoma, despite that line crossing over 0 multiple times. Indiana, Oregon. Oregon's laying 7 on DK. It's gone down to 7. Yeah,
I'm fading that.
Oh, you're taking the Hoosiers?
No. It's coming down, right? Like we're playing Oregon no matter what.
Yeah.
Oregon's gonna fuck them up.
I mean, look, last night wasn't the greatest night for me. I did all right in the FCS, but I did have Fresno. I did have North Texas.
I had North Texas.
I had the over in that game too, though. So I mean, it wasn't. But I took Washington, and that was a lock of mine. That was the one I had the biggest amount of money on, just because I don't believe these teams going this far away. You saw it with Penn State, UCLA. I would say I was actually thinking about doing a deep dive this week on teams that travel, more than like 2,000 miles or whatever. What their record would be.
You're gonna have to do some weird. In order for it to for us to make a graphic of it, you're going to have to do some weird ESPN style, like teams that travel more than 1,952 miles just to fit one school in there that's 0-3. So you can skew it and be like, look, they always lose.
Yeah. Well, the only one I can think of is, actually there's 2. Washington won at Maryland, but they were down the whole fucking game. And Ohio State stuck it to Washington. Oh, that one was actually the only true beatdown, and that one took to the third quarter to really open up. But the rest, you're sitting there like, I don't know. I mean, Michigan State lost to USC. They did end up covering on a bullshit 80-yard touchdown pass with a minute and a half left that cooked my bet. But Penn State, UCLA, you just look at I think some of the Big 12 games too, or the Pac-2, whatever you want to say.
Pac-2.
But yeah, look, I'm all over Oregon. What am I missing here on this? I understand.
In fact, I had an okay idea. Is if you really are worried about, because Elroy brings up a good point. If Indiana wins this game, this is a big parlay buster for everybody. That 9 legs stepped up, 80% boost. Just put a future on Mendoza to win the Heisman before this game on the road, and you'll hedge yourself. And if they win, it'll be because he looks like a baller at Autzen Stadium. And even if you want to, you can just cash that out. But
yeah,
outside of that game script, I don't see anything other than, Mr. Lanning and his shed powder just going to fucking town on these users.
Yeah, they should have lost to Iowa. What makes you think If I think if Gronowski stays in that Iowa game, Iowa beats him. Or if they can make that fucking field goal before that. But that's just puzzling to me. But I want to talk about the Pitt Florida State game. That game's kicking off in 34 minutes. So there's a bunch of news out of this game. I'm just retrieving it right now. I took Pitt money line. I also took Pitt with the points. Desmond Reed is a game time decision at the running back spot. He's very good for Pitt. So I read that reported by Pete Tham. When I knew he was questionable earlier in the week, so that didn't really hinder my handicap because I think the backup is good too. We talked about it on the DFS show. But you got news this morning that Florida State's Squirrel White, their starting wide receiver, and right tackle Micah Pettis are doubtful for the game, and then wide receiver Javon Boggs and tight end Randy Pittman. And Pittman is actually a solid player on that offense. Are game time decisions there? It's looking better and better for Pitt, in my opinion. Or what do you think? I mean, I know Pitt had no Desmond Reed, but I kind of factored that in from the start. Your thoughts on Pitt getting, what are they getting? Has this line moved? I bet you it's moved. Let me look at this. I am currently seeing Pitt. No, it hasn't moved. Surprisingly, 10.5 is what I'm seeing. FSU laying 10.5 in this.
Playing
game.
the mercenary quit angle here, huh?
Yeah, well, I know it's a first ever road start, and I've probably been on this show a million times saying fade the first ever road start for these quarterbacks. Really fade like the first 3 or 4 road starts. But Mason Heinzel, the quarterback for Pitt, is starting his first road game. I just wonder if like last week was a kill spot for them, because they're pretty much, I don't want to say they're 100% eliminated from the ACC championship, but they would need a lot to go right for them to make the ACC championship. And I also thought Pitt was always, their roster was better than their performance this year, in my opinion. And another thing that I liked is Pitt's run defense is actually pretty damn good. So I thought that would, Florida State, if you make Castellanos have to drop back and throw the ball, I think that's the blueprint to beating them. But that's my logic. What are you doing in this game though?
I think I'm more worried about the quarterback making his first start at Doak. I also kind of understand the mathematical chances of the duds versus the gems that you're going to get from Gus Malzahn. We're due for a gem. We've gotten 2 duds. We're due for a gem. And I do think, Narduzzi's defense is usually something that Pitt's a little physical, and that's kind of what they bring. I think you might see a little bit of over pursuit. I would almost think that this line would be not all the way to 10.5, but I'm going to go ahead and think that that's telling and lay it with the Seminoles.
All right, that's fair. Look, and Andrew Clark saying, how'd that go for Ty Simpson? Fair. I will say the only difference is Gus Malzahn got about 6 months to prep for that game.
Yeah.
So this is right after the Dream Crusher of Miami, but I mean that's a fair point. And Ty Simpson, he didn't look horrible that game, but I get your point. Ohio State is heading to Illinois.
Man, I don't have a good feeling on this one at all.
I bet the Illini in the points, and my thing was this, and I'm willing. I understand that Illinois.
Still 14.5?
15.5, I see.
Oh.
Okay. Did you watch the Washington Rutgers game last night?
Yes.
It took a little longer for Washington to open that thing up. I'm a guy that has a ticket for Washington to potentially make the play, or not to. I took a ticket on them to make the Big Ten championship, and then I took a ticket on them to make the playoffs. So I have two separate tickets. They have not looked as good as I thought they would be this year. Washington, that is. So if you remove that from the equation, because we know their record's still good, Texas is not good. Ohio just lost to Ball State in the MAC opener or whatever. Or I think that might have been their second MAC game. Minnesota, I do believe, is ass. Is there a chance that Ohio State, although yes, they're Ohio State, we know they have a bunch of NFL players, but is there a world where they just haven't played anybody good?
I mean, if you think that about Texas, you kind of have to think that about Ohio State as well, right?
Yeah. So I'm thinking 15.5 is bold considering
15
and Illinois, what they had the most returning production of any team in the nation this year. So it's like, if you got a bunch of veterans, I think it's worth taking a stab, but they don't have to win the game, but 15.5 is a big fucking number. So that's why I thought it might be worth the play. Now, I shout out to the chat. Some of them playing Illinois money line. This is one I did not. This is one I did not buy.
Oh, this is I would take this one.
Yeah,
I would take the first half spread as well, just in case. But
first half money line is actually. I'm sorry, I misread that.
Yeah,
I thought you say take the money line for the whole game. So
no, just the first half. I like the idea of Champaign kind of rocking, and then maybe the athleticism of Ohio State starts to win out a little bit later in the game as it goes along, but. These games are so weird. This is a classic. Like Brett Bielema is going to have his team ready to fuck somebody up and like headbutt someone. Like they probably watch Cam Scatterboo highlights all night.
Yeah, Mike, I'm only posing the hypothetical. I don't believe Ohio State's a bad team. I'm just saying, like when you look at the schedule, I think you can make a point. I don't believe Texas has yet to beat an FBS or a Power 5. I'm sorry. Minnesota, I truly believe, does not look like a good football team this year, right? Washington, I would say that's the best win because you went to Husky Stadium. It was very impressive. But I would say they don't look as good as I thought. Coming into the year, I thought, Washington with Damon Williams, they're going to take that big next step. I'm kind of reluctant to believe, even with them beating Rutgers last night and stuff, that the way they struggled against Colorado State and stuff and Washington State, I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
Yeah, and I would even say that it doesn't have to do like Ohio State has looked how they're supposed to in all of those games. Maybe you wanted them to look a little bit better against Texas in the first game of the year, but also first game of the year, kid's first start. It's just apparent that we thought that their competition level in the beginning of the year is higher than we know that it is right now.
Yeah. So
that might not mean anything, but
so if you're picking that game, it seems like you haven't bet the game yet. Picking that game, what would you pick? Gun to your head.
I would take the 15.5 over 2 touchdowns over that 14 number. I would take the points with Illinois. I mean, even at 14.5, I was thinking about it and I haven't pulled the trigger on it, but I would take that extra. That 15.5 makes me feel like I'm a little safer.
Yeah. That's all I did there. I locked that up, by the way. I did bet the 15.5 with the Illini. We're jumping all around time zones here, but Daniel Katie, shout out to Daniel, friend of the program. We've hung out with him multiple times. This is a hilarious one. Luckily, I know. So one of the things I highly encourage, and it can go against you. I mentioned it earlier. But when the lines drop on Sunday, place your favorite bets. This is one where I'm very lucky because I didn't even know Sam Levitt was questionable on Sunday. Well, I took Utah -5.5 on Sunday. The line's now at 10 because Sam Levitt has been ruled out of the game and they're starting. The guy's got 9 lives.
The GOAT. Jeff
Sims. Who? Jeff Sims. Former, I don't know if he was a 5-star. He might have been a high 4-star. But a guy that was originally committed to Florida State that flipped to Georgia Tech, one of Jeff Collins' big recruits. The problem was it was Jeff Collins. If Jeff Sims had maybe gone to a different school, he might be in a better spot right now or with a better coach. But, And then he started at Nebraska. You might remember Colorado fans still grateful for him starting that Colorado-Nebraska game at Folsom Field where he just turned the ball over like 1,000 times. And then he's at Arizona State where he started one game last year against Cincinnati where they lost. And that was almost the game that kept them out of the the playoffs, essentially. Good luck. Let me just tell you that. Daniel Katie, I know you're an Arizona State fan, so I don't want to shit on your boys, but good luck. What are you doing here? And yeah, at 10, I think I would still take Utah, by the way. What are you doing here?
At 10, I would still lay the points with Utah. Jeff Sims is really bad. And that's not a place.
He's better? Is there a chance that he's like, because this is the second year in Kenny Dillingham's offense, is there a chance? Because I will say this, I remember his first couple games at Georgia Tech, his freshman year. I remember texting NC Nick being like, dude, this dude could be good. And then Jeff Collins never developed him. Then he bounced around. He lost confidence. I also had multiple reports that the guy is just like me and loves scattered ass and good times out at the bar. So maybe you're not paying attention to to winning. You're just an 18-year-old with some NIL having a good time on college campus. God bless the man. Can he not do that? The only problem is every once in a while they might randomly say you have to start a football game and you go, oh shit, I haven't studied the playbook. I've been doing nose beers with my friends down there on Main Street. Yeah, lock, right?
I mean, it's funny you bring that up because I tweeted out this morning something about like Cam Scatterboo surprisingly is still able to be a physical runner in the NFL. I'm like, no, it's not. If you watched him at college, you would have known that the dude just likes to play football and is like going to play football until he can't anymore.
Yeah.
Arizona State is where you go to learn if you can make it in the NFL with all those big knockers and nose beers and everything going on out there. If you can get rid of the distractions there, you can make it. The issue is last year when he got his chance to show in his one start that he could be okay, he didn't. So it seems as if maybe the distractions are still in play.
Yeah. Lock, by the way. Yeah. Daniel Katie says it's the funniest part is Levitt practiced as a starter all week. Why? I'm just glad I bet it on Sunday because I didn't even know there was a chance of him missing the game. Like this. I did not see that one coming. Shout out to Joe Blow in the chat. Best money or best AM dog to win outright? Are we talking or just with the points?
Not the ones rolling on the 7-Eleven grill. Those are still good at 9 a.m.
To each their own. I used to have two roommates that were in a rock and roll band, and they might have just been partaking in lots of drugs nonstop. And one of their go-tos was like the guitarist who hasn't been seen in years, by the way. Because he's a great guy, by the way, but let's just say things got a little dark in Hollywood. But one of his go-tos was the 7-Eleven hot dog at around 5:30 or 6 in the morning because nothing was up or nothing was open, and he was it was like a half block away, and he would come back because that was right around. They made a documentary called I want to say it was called Orange. It was called Tangerine, I think. And this was about so if in Hollywood there's a spot where Hugh Grant got caught cheating on his wife with a prostitute that was a trans prostitute. This was like one of the biggest trans corners ever. Yeah, I lived there. I had no idea when I only lived there for a little bit though, like 6 months or something. But because I just couldn't living with a bunch of people in a rock and roll band, doing all drugs nonstop. Tough. I mean, look, I enjoy having a fun time, but that was just like. And then
the Whippets make sense now, though.
And then you're right next to this big tranny corner. It was tough.
They didn't rename.
I remember. I was training Muddy Waters. Muddy Waters was a puppy. And I was waking up like super early in the morning, right, to try to get him because it was an apartment complex. So he had kept pissing in the house. So I was like, fuck, man, I got to really be alert. So I hear his feet moving. It's like 6 a.m. in my room, and I grab him. I run downstairs. I get him to piss. I'm so happy. And it's like drizzling a little bit of rain, like the starting to become morning. My mother randomly calls me. She would always forget about the time difference, and she's like, "How do you think I would like Los Angeles?" And as she tells me this, a tranny on a bicycle with no pants on, right? So they're wearing like a wife beater, right? But no pants on, dick out, with on a bicycle, with a boombox on the front of the fucking bike, blasting Michael Jackson. Passes by, just dick out and everything. And my mom's asking, "How do you think I'd like Los Angeles?" I was like, "Ma, I don't think this. I don't think you would like it very much. I don't think you would like it very much." But
hey, Muddy Waters, look, there's chicks with dicks over there.
even Muddy Waters was like, "God damn, where do you have me living, dude? Right? What the fuck's going on?" But that's when you knew. I was like, "Yeah, maybe I should move closer to the ocean." Right? It's a little wild over here. But Mom, yeah. Anyway, look, we got the Battle of I-75 going on, Toledo and Bowling Green. Toledo's laying 11.5. The over/under at 45.5.
So ESPN bet special right now at 9.5 for Toledo.
This has gone up. I like to think I'm the reason why this went up, by the way. 9.5 ESPN bet.
ESPN
Get
bet.
on over there because it was flat 10 right before I went live. So, 45 minutes ago? Flat 10 on DK. That's the number I got. So, yeah. I'm on Toledo. I'm curious what you're doing here. Rivalry game, we normally like to take the points.
Yeah, not in this one, though. This is the away team rivalry game. It's just like the constant revenge. I do love the story that Toledo just has the rocket pointed right at them. There's an unnamed place in Florida that has a fraternity cannon pointed at another certain house that's kind of the same thing. But I'm on Toledo. I saw the 9.5 on ESPN bet and was like, well, if I'm going to lose it, I'm going to lose it with my now 2 points of value. I thought it was 10.5 everywhere else when I put that in too, but up to 11, I'm still taking the Rockets.
Yeah. I will. I told you parlay that right now with Charlotte, the Clits. Got to get some of the other big games. Road Rash Face is back on the sidelines as the head honcho as they head into Knoxville, Tennessee. Tennessee laying. This line's come down. GBO Farms. Are you scared, buddy? It's down to 10.5 that I'm seeing on DK right now. This was 13.5 on Wednesday.
They know.
Or Tuesday, one of those days, right? Yes. Patty C. Yeah. Patty C. Crazy enough, he did actually move into that place at one point. He's like, look at all these chicks with dicks over here. I'm interested. Anyway. God bless.
Did they have Transformers on the corner? Yeah, I want to move in there.
Dude, it was so strange living there. I shit you guys. I know we're getting sidetracked. We're supposed to give out winners, but so.
Well, I was going to say, you don't have to ask about Road Rash Face. You know which way we're going up in this bitch.
Yeah, Road Rash.
You play this money line.
Play. Take the money line. I did play it. I did play it on the money line too. Get ready. Buckle up, GBO Farms.
The fact that they're not immediately saying that he's the lead candidate is why he's about to show up. Because even if somebody else wants to hire him, look at what he did real quick. It's old Bobby.
Oh, yeah. And at least you got the 1 game bump. You know, the 1 game bump is here. He fired the whole defensive staff. Let's go. But what I was going to say was that so you're at 7 a.m. outside of that apartment, you would see, like, just walking muddy, you would see, like, the strangest shit ever, man. Like, business guys in, like, a fucking Rolls Royce dropping off a tranny at, like, 7 a.m. And you're like, good God, man. You're, like, sitting there, like... You said it happened so commonly that it was just like I was just in awe. I was just like, wow, like this is just
This is on the regular, huh?
This is I'm shocked at how common. And then it was such a popular spot. They made a documentary about it. Check it out at your own at your own willingness. But they did make a documentary about that, and yeah, shout out to living six or I would say about 50 yards from the tranny prostitution mecca in America, apparently.
The spot. You did a good job of not being a snitch and not getting any stitches. You just kind of hung out with Muddy Waters and.
I'm a fucking peaceful dude. You know what I mean? Like, to me, I don't give a shit. As long as you're not fucking with me, I don't give a shit what the fuck you're doing. All right? Just don't fuck with me, right? If you're happy, I don't give a shit whatever your happiness is. Just do not fuck with me. And I'm a happy-go-lucky guy. Some say, at least, unless we're talking dome football. Kansas is catching 15 in Lubbock. I bet Kansas, buddy. Now, I did not bet the money line. This is another one in similar vein as Illinois, similar number. I think Kansas is going to be able to move the ball and neutralize that pass rush against the Red Raiders here. I'm curious. You're a Big 12 guy. Your thoughts on the Jayhawks going into Lubbock?
Lubbock's a weird place to go to, and that's kind of like everybody knows that, but it's not really talked about as much of a home field advantage. I think it's more of a hometown advantage. Lubbock is just out there, nothing to fucking do. I just think that 15 is a little too much. Like, Texas Tech is good, and it wouldn't surprise me if they covered this. I don't have a wager on this game. The Bet Detective is weeks behind on the Texas Tech National Championship future. What you do is you put like $5, $10 futures on them, and then you slowly ladder the cash out. It's like the opposite of what they do with the ladders. You do the shoot. But the issue with Texas Tech in this game is Kansas does have the ability to move the ball. And I know they've got all the mercenaries, but I haven't seen like a complete shutdown or anything like that yet. I think the over is probably the smartest play.
59.5 is what the over I'm seeing, which does make, I think if I had to take a side, I would probably take that as well. The chat's cracking me up right now. BYU's at Arizona. This is one where I think the Wildcats ruin BYU's undefeated season. So I am on Arizona. I think this is it's not a bold statement. This is the dog I like. Plus 120 though is plus 120. Arizona, I think we'll stick it to him. BYU's been living on the edge personally. And I think Arizona's a decent team, especially at home. So, I will lay the I will take the 2.5, but just play it on the money line. What are you doing in this one?
I think I don't have a spread bet on this one. By the time 8:00 rolls around, I'll probably dive in on the Arizona money line. But I think when you see the San Jose State struggles, it just speaks to Brennan. And I think, second year, you can kind of see things are starting to click a little bit more. The idea of the new coach having the number one, always got to feed the ball wide receiver does always scare me. And it's like, what we want to do is we want to get our system installed here, and forcing the ball to one guy, no matter how good he is going to kind of hinder that. I think they're just playing a little bit better team football.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. I also will give out this. I did throw in a 7-team parlay today.
Hell yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, that was, so this is separate than my 2-team parlay that I did of Toledo and Charlotte.
You've got a hefty, and a wimpy.
But I added Charlotte and Toledo into this one as well. So those are 2 of the 7. I also took, NC State plus 24. Might have been 24.5. 24 and a half. That was the third leg. The fourth leg was Temple plus 10. The fifth leg, giving this out to my clientele, was Nevada +7, and I actually think Nevada is live on the money line. My sixth leg. What the fuck was my sixth leg? USC -2.5, and my seventh leg was. I'm missing one. What the fuck was the one I'm missing?
Did you play Utah at like a lower number or something?
No, I didn't because I just put it in this morning. But what the fuck was it? I think it might have been Michigan State. Let me check though. Let me check.
That feels like one that you were on.
What are you doing in that? I'm telling you, I think Nevada is going to beat San Diego State tonight, or at least take the points. I think the money line's live. They've been knocking on the door a little bit over the past couple weeks.
I don't have anything put on this yet, but it seems at 7.5, it's kind of telling, right? Like they, out of nowhere, this Nevada team is going to hang around with San Diego State late night.
Yeah.
Wacky in Reno.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see this
cold,
being a
man.
field goal.
You go to Reno at this time of year. Here it is. I'm sorry, I stand corrected. It's Charlotte +18.5, Toledo -10, NC State +24.5, Temple +10, USC -2.5, Nevada +7, and Oregon -7. Oregon was the one I added last, not Michigan State. So jump in if you're not a pussy. I want to ask you about another game that I'm on, money line. Georgia is at Auburn, Deep South's oldest rivalry. Shout out to Virgil with the FCS plays. I have a shit ton of FCS plays as well, and I like a lot of those, man. The Richmond one I don't know about though, and the Villanova one as well. I think Elon's going to get him. But what are you doing in that game? That's an awesome game. Hugh Freeze probably coaching for his life at Auburn. That is. There's a world I think he could get fired in the next week.
Back in the gurney.
4.5. Yeah, fake an injury or something. See if you can get some more money on that. What are you doing here?
How did Jackson Arnold look against Georgia last year?
How's he looked against anybody in his career?
Except
I got Baylor. Baylor, he looked good.
I can understand the fact that it is a rivalry game and it's at Jordan-Hare. And, it's only 4.5, so it would seem kind of telling, except for, Georgia lost at home, and they're definitely not the Georgia that everybody was hoping them to be. But I don't know. It feels like Jackson Arnold will make their defense look as if Georgia has taken a step forward. The issue with me for Georgia is that Gunnar Stockton kind of stinks in my mind, and then in any game that you can't control the tempo of, it becomes exponentially bad because you don't have a dude that can attack down the field. I don't know if that really becomes an issue here against Auburn. I'm going to roll with the Bulldogs.
All right, we're on different sides. I took the Tigers money line. I took a money line because I think there's blood in the water with this Georgia team. Michigan's at USC, another great game. I'm on USC. I feel decent about it. I know Michigan got to LA on Monday thanks to Captain Comeback there. But what are you doing in this game?
I mean, Mayava's been okay at home. Michigan, I feel like they would have looked more impressive last week if they were a team that we thought was kind of a half step better than they really are. And the travel, I mean, like you said, they're out there Monday and whatnot. It's still not, you're not at home. It's weird. Got teenagers, 20-year-olds with way more money than they used to have out there. Give me the Trojans.
There we go. Let's go. Shout out to Nurse Jockey. My 7-year-old son Holden says hi. Shout out to Holden. Hope you're doing good,
tell
brother.
Give Holden a pick.
What's Holden's lock of the day? Also tell Holden I appreciate you for tuning in, and I hope you are playing football. And if not considering playing football, it's fall. Go out there, play with your buddies. But hope you're good, Holden, and appreciate you tuning in, man.
I was going to say also, I hit up Sean and Kramer. There is a possibility that we do an SGP in summer camp. So we'll be ready to teach 7-year-olds over unders and parlay math.
Holden, I hope you weren't listening with my my story about Muddy going to the bathroom in the morning. But
Mom, Dad, can we move to LA?
I hope you're good, buddy. I hope you're good, man. And Nurse Jockey, hit me up on Twitter at dcolbyd. Send me a DM, and we're going to arrange something to get Holden a T-shirt.
Hell yeah!
All right, get him a T-shirt.
Get Holden an Eat
I wish
Shit
I had
Pit shirt.
something cooler. Like we need our own Matchbox cars, man. My son's getting into these Matchbox cars, man. You can distract him for like, you buy one of those like $10 Matchbox car set with 8 cars or 10 cars. I just bought a day of peace.
Yep.
A day of peace.
The fact that those always seem to show up on Saturday at 11:55 is crazy, right? Like,
dude, if I'm asleep and I got him some the night before, a couple days ago. He runs the fucking. Sometimes I wake up. My wife will wake up earlier than me because I'm recording till like 4 a.m, and then he'll come in my room, and then he'll try out the car. He'll always do this thing, brum brum brum, but he'll try it out on my face.
Nice.
So I'm like, dude, what the fuck, man? Like, I'm sleeping here. You're trying out a Matchbox car on my face.
You need to get him one of those old school mats that's got like the fake road on it and be like, look, if you don't use the car on the road, the car gets taken away because you can't have insurance on the Matchbox car if it doesn't stay on the road.
Yeah. I mean, I've already gotten rid of a few of those motherfuckers when he wasn't looking. I was like, okay, we'll buy you again some new ones in a little bit. Florida is at Texas A&M. I hope you enjoy our segues.
Look at live coffee.
Yeah, A&M is laying 6.5. I'm on these Aggies. I'm in a battle with CJ and Mac here. They're on the Gators. The line reflects. The line favors them in a way.
I'm on your side, and I think the A&M hatred is not as warranted as it should be, believe it or not. I'm usually all aboard the A&M hatred. Horns down, A&M sucks. We don't care for either of them, but I think A&M's a little bit better. If A&M had played the same with the LSU jerseys on, people would be talking about them as a national title contender. So I believe in Elko too.
Yeah, let's go. Panther Hawk, Colby, do I still like Mercyhurst at 7?
Is that what it went to?
Yeah, I told you. Look, it's amazing. That. It's amazing how many people like DM me, like they think we're like making up lines or something on the FCS. You just don't realize that shit doesn't get action. Yeah, and I would not go past 7. I think 7 I would still go in on with Mercyhurst. Taking out Wagner. Wagner's fucking terrible. All right, Mercyhurst is actually decent. I know their record doesn't reflect it, but that schedule's been insane. The one that everyone wants to know about in the chat before we get out of here is UMass and Kent State. Kent State laying 1.5. Kent State's first time favored against a FBS opponent in 4 years, or 3. I think it was 3.5 years. The world's been wanting to know what you are doing in this game.
Unlike Next Slide Sullivan, I was actually interested in this one too, because, both sides of the bell curve are what we're looking for. And sometimes the toilet bowl is just as enjoyable. Kent State has looked way better than I thought they would this year. I thought that they were complete dog shit, and they're just like normal, like very healthy formed stool. They're not like runny dog shit or anything. It's just normal poop. And because of that, I'm going in on Kent State. I don't get a lot of opportunity to bet on them. They fucked my team total on Oklahoma last week because it went down to 45 when Hawkins was playing. I'm in. Lock up Kent State, best team in the nation.
Lock up Kent State.
Play the music. I didn't mean to interrupt the music.
You're battling Mac. I think Mac locked up UMass.
Mac's blinded by his Frank Martin love.
Yeah. Colt in the chat, and look, we got to leave, but I'm saying Colt says, "What's your favorite game to watch today? Best game to watch today?" Well, that is fun. Late night is that Hawaii. As far as just being a college football junkie and fan for the FBS, without question, and really for all of college football, it is the Red River Shootout. I love the Red River Shootout. It's perfect to me. So that would be my number 1 play off the board. Yeah, Battle of I-75 is always fun too for rivalries or Georgia Auburn, but I just think that like every year that's one that I circle.
And make sure you guys hammer socials with the real name. It's Shootout. Changing the name to rivalry will not change the rate of gun violence. I can promise you that.
I just love that.
It's just
that
a name.
We live in such a world where that's a like.
That's our solution. We'll change the name of a college football game.
Yeah, that's this. I've talked about this a bunch on the basketball show. The Washington Bull. I grew up with the Washington Bullets, right? And DC had the highest murder capital, that was the murder capital of the United States in like the mid 90s, right? So they're like, hey, we should change the name of the Bullets. Like people were making a connection that fucking Rex Chapman was shooting threes, and they said, you know what? That's the problem. Cut this. That's the fucking problem. Is that Marion Barry? Your mayor,
coked up mayor. No problem.
Smoking crack with a prostitute. Which I endorse, by the way. I like to know our tax dollars are going to a good spot, but I'm just saying that's not the problem. It's Rex Chapman making these fucking threes, right? Ridiculous. And then they go to the Wizards, which is the head of the Ku Klux Klan might be named something like that.
Why else would they be?
Seems pretty racist to me. But hey, who am I? I'm just an idiot over here. Bullets though. Bullets.
It sure stopped Javaris and Gilbert, right?
Yeah.
Like that wouldn't have happened if they weren't named the Bullets. Oh wait.
100%. No, the Bullets. Those just. Step too far, man. Step too far. What a dumb world we live in. I remember when they blamed the Matrix for Columbine.
Yeah.
I remember actually turning on
Call of Duty Big Red 1 is at fault here.
If you go back to the Matrix with Neo, that is the reason why these kids go into these high schools and blow them up. What? I heard that, and I heard someone quote or say Reservoir Dogs. First off, Reservoir Dogs was 10 years before Columbine, and it was an independent movie at Sundance Film Festival. It's what are you talking? I know it became popular, but it's these people. Who are these people? Anyway, folks, that's our show. I'm on Twitter at TheColbyD. Troy Tuning is on Twitter isn't it at Troy Tuning?
Yeah, it's so old. I got my 16th anniversary auto tweet the other day of joining Twitter.
There we go. You were a visionary.
Pioneer.
Yeah. We'll be back tonight reacting to all this chaos. I know there's a bunch of other games we didn't really touch on, but that's how the morning show goes. Take Temple in the points though. What else do we like on this? I took New Mexico in the points.
I've already put in a play on Hawaii's money line too.
Hawaii's money line. So
Hawaii's money line.
Okay. Okay. Fantastic.
Hard ticket, baby.
It is a hard ticket. We will leave out on that. How about that, folks? Till next time. This is the College Football Experience pregame show. Appreciate all you in the chat. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
Never get sued on this one.